Margaret Kuhlman of Soul Astrology. So many planets in Aquarius, along with the new moon, and a lot of squares, all those red lines to Taurus, Mars and Uranus. So two fixed signs at loggerheads with each other. As Mars goes through Taurus, we're likely to be extremely affected physically, energetically, by the state of our practical lives. Any challenges that we have to face on a practical level are liable to use a lot of energy. But particularly, the energy is likely to be drained if we're dealing with matters that affect our principles. Venus, the planet of our relating, is on the same degree as Jupiter. So this whole month is flavoured by an openness in relating to the whole of humanity. With Mercury retrograding through Aquarius towards them, any relational issues are likely to be raised in communication. We'll be talking about them. One of the difficulties with fixed signs is a tendency to create your position and stick to it. So what's being called for really is a bit more flexibility. But flexibility is pointless if we don't acknowledge and accept those fixed positions in the first place. It's only by stating how you feel, how it is for you, that you then become able to adjust it to what's required from outside you. The nodes of the moon continue from Sagittarius to Gemini, very flexible, prepared to talk about our beliefs, needing to communicate and take in more ideas. That Mercury trines the North Node in this chart suggests that that's exactly how the communication will go, has already been going. Communication with a view to mediating, to seeking compromise that doesn't damage either side. Saturn's connection with Chiron in Aries suggests the importance of the individual, bringing out that need for freedom of expression that Aquarius has, the freedom to stand outside the group, to walk a different path as long as it harms no one. While Mars in Taurus sextiles Neptune, a tremendous sensitivity to the emotional atmosphere of the whole. Neptune is still squaring the nodes, so a tendency perhaps to overdo that sensitivity, even to the degree of taking one off the track of speaking one's truth. If one's truth cannot be spoken and accepted as such, the community one lives in will not be enriched, and any solutions that arise will not take the individual into account. With physical necessity and the freedom of choice being like two ends of the pole, poles apart, the only position to take up internally is the center point, where we accept that each one of us has both of these ends within ourselves, to search out the other end so that we can take that middle point. It is the middle point from which social reform emanates. The picture of the full moon is quite different, much softer. Mars trines Pluto, suggesting that changes are afoot. that we are adapting by then. And Mars moves into Gemini by the 3rd of March, so the emphasis on discussion, much more changeable, much more about possibilities. Mercury is holding that balance between Saturn and Jupiter, communication, finding the middle way between apparent necessity and the ability to expand a bit, to grow. Venus has moved into Pisces by then, so a greater sensitivity to how people are feeling, to the results on an emotional level of the conditions we've been living through. The moon in Virgo, accepting that need for freedom that we have as it trines Uranus, and where Uranus is at odds with Saturn, perhaps the moon's quincunx to Saturn enables us to find subtler ways that include our health and well-being as individuals. I find myself this month very much concerned with the principles involved at this time. The difficulty of being an individual within a community, within the world situation for humanity, or within the whole of life on this planet. And it seems to me that all of this must be contained within any solution we come to, whether for ourselves as individuals or for the whole of life. As individuals, true individuals, we are also the whole of life. Our hearts beat according to the beat of the planet, and all is one. Spirit ensouled in the physical world. So I, as a human being, reach through to the planet by listening to the wind in the trees, the waves on the beach, and the silence that is beyond it all. At your center, self, there is silence, stillness. Everything you know arises against this backdrop, with no power of its own and no voice except the voice you give it. Release your grip on knowing. Relax and rest back. Listen to the silence beyond all that you know, and take the hand that is offered peacefully.